Joining me in the studios is a public health physician, Dr. Doyin. Odubanjo, thank you so much for coming in at this time.
Pleasure to be with you.
The president has extended it by another week till next Monday, after which then there'll be a gradual easing of the restriction.
Right.
He's also locked down Kano now for 2 weeks, completely.
Right.
Are these steps that you believe are in the right direction, coming from where we are coming, from 4 weeks of lockdown in Lagos, FCT, and Ogun State?
Absolutely. I think there are definitely steps in the right direction. Everybody's worried about Kano. I think the last time I was here, I talked about Kano.
Indeed.
And said we need to keep an eye on Kano. And then they had 20 cases or so. But I said the rise was within 2 days. You know, they went from 2 to 21.
Right.
And that we needed to watch Kano. So clearly Kano is kind of getting out of hand. And that needs a lockdown for it to freeze things a little bit. Just to be able to take a good look, determine what's really going on, and also determine what needs to be done. You need to slow things down, so that is important. The second thing is, particularly, this is the speech I like.
Okay.
Of all the speeches.
Abegwa said that quite a lot of people also received this one quite well.
This is the one I like of all the speeches he's given, particularly because I think they were quite very, not cunning, skillful in how they said it.
Very careful with the words.
With the words, yes. It's 1 more week of lockdown, but it's actually put as easing is coming in 1 week, you know, and that's like giving people hope. And that is important because we can't lift everything in a hurry. We have to still keep things in place a little bit, but you have to give people hope. You have to also let them know that they are being heard, their pains are also being felt. So they need to bear with the government a little bit. And after the 1 week, it's not going to be freedom at last. It's just going to be a little more freedom, not total freedom. But then this 1 week gives the opportunity to work out very serious details.
Now, but that brings something that is the other side of hope. Some would say fear, which is that as things were under the lockdown,
right,
there were people breaching it. I mean, some of our correspondents already reported that even today, the NNPC fire in Ogba, the NNPC filling station fire in Ogba, had hundreds of people out standing next to each other, shoulder to shoulder.
Right.
That's so when this gradual easing starts, the fear is that we may lose some of those things that we appear to have gained in the last 4 weeks if the situation is considered freedom, to use the phrase that you talked about.
Actually, this can be a win-win, in which case you can say to the people, we'll have to be very strict with the regulations we put in place, and we can afford to be very strict because we've allowed you some hours to get certain things done. We've allowed you a little more freedom, so you can complain as you complained. However, if we say there's a curfew, we can be very strict with it. You know, because you've had the time you were supposed to do the essential things you needed to do. So you can stick with this one. Secondly, I mentioned the fact that you need to work out serious, meticulous details, you know, about what this really means. For instance, you still must maintain physical distancing very seriously. How many people can be in a vehicle? Public transportation, for instance. How many people, even if you say there's an office, do you want, you know, in an office of, I don't know how big the size would be. Would you want 50 people coming in? And businesses still have to be warned that there's still a virus lurking around. You know, and that means that if you get one person infected in the office, you'll shut down. So the businesses also still have to be guided to know that perhaps you still want your workers working from home. You know, so there are a lot of things that need to be discussed. Details need to be worked out. And this 1 week should give us that time to do that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Odubanjo, for coming in at this point. We're grateful, as always, for your time.